Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. So today we're going to be talking about all of the books that I want to read in August of 2025. Now normally I pick out about 6 books that I want to read, but this month I've decided to pick out 7 just because I'm finding that I'm reading anywhere between like 9 to 10 books a month. So I wanted to challenge myself and put an extra book onto the TBR, mostly to try and get through the backlog of the fantasy novels, because I don't tend to just pick up like, oh, I want to randomly read this fantasy novel. No, I'm doing that with like contemporary romances, but with my fantasy books, if they're not on my TBR, I'm not going to be inclined to pick them up. And most of my TBR, unfortunately, is fantasy books at the moment, and I really just need to get through them. So I'm going to force myself to read more fantasy novels. Let's just get straight into this video and discussing the 7 books that I have put on my TBR. So the first book that I have put on is The Flip Side by James Bailey. Now, this book is one of the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. That is the main reason why I have picked this one up this month, because I'm just trying to get through the books that are left on the challenge. And I'm going to be honest, I picked this one up 2 to 3 years ago, and I don't remember a single thing about this book. So it's New Year's Eve. Our main character, Josh, has a high-flying proposal planned, an exclusive pod on the London Eye with champagne, truffles, and the ring. It's perfect until she says no. They then have to spend the next 29 excruciating minutes alone together, and by the time he gets back on the ground, his whole life is up in the air. He's managed to lose his girlfriend, his job, and his flat. Realizing he can't trust his own judgment, Josh puts his faith in fate. From now on, he will make every choice by flipping a coin. It's reckless and scary, but Josh has tried the right way, and look where he ended up. And what if the girl of his dreams is just one flip of a coin away? Interesting premise. Not really too sure what to make of it. Obviously, something about it must have appealed to me. But yeah, we're just going to give it a read, see what I think. I'm not expecting high things, to be honest. And then the second book that I have put on my August TBR is Soul of the Sword by Julie Kagwa. This is the second novel in the Shadow of the Fox series trilogy by her. I read the first book in July. If you'd like to know my thoughts, feel free to check out my July reading wrap up that will go live next week. This is basically just continuing on the story. We're basically focusing on this young girl called Yumiko. She's basically a shapeshifter. She's part fox. I'm not entirely sure how the whole thing works. I was very confused by that whole aspect of the story. But basically, she's a little bit of a peasant girl. She's half fox. She was raised by these monks in the temple. There's this mythology set in Japan, and the mythology is that every 1,000 years, this dragon will rise from the ocean because some king or lord or emperor decided that he wanted to go and get these wishes from this dragon, and to punish him, he rises every 1,000 years, and one honest, true human will be able to ask for a wish and have it be granted. We're coming up to the time of the dragon rising out of the ocean again, and everyone is on the hunt to get the 3 scrolls that are going to help you raise the dragon from the ocean. I don't know, I was very lost. But in the first one, we have the first scroll. It's with Yumiko. She's traveling with this other character whose name I cannot remember. Oh yeah, it's Kage Tatsumi, the Shadow Clan. He has a sword that has a demon in it, which can speak to him, and he's basically just like a ninja assassin, and he's been sent to find the scroll, but he doesn't know that Yumiko has the scroll, and they're traveling with some other people, and we're now heading to the Feather Temple. But yeah, this is just going to continue on. We're going to be traveling to the Feather Temple. There's going to be a lot more walking in forests, which I'm going to be honest, that was what most of the first book was about, so not super excited. I'm hoping that a bit more happens in this one, but like my hopes aren't super high, to be honest. And then our third book is Tilly in Technicolor by Maisie Eddings. Now, I have just finished reading the first kind of A Brush with Love trilogy that she had. This is basically just the next book that Maisie Eddings came out with. I'm just basically reading her novels in publication order because I'm really enjoying her books. They're quite short, very easy to read, very relatable characters. So I've just picked this one up, and I'm going to be honest, I don't actually remember what it's about. For me, I don't even think I read the blurb. I'm pretty sure I just purchased this book because I really, at that point, had just read Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake and was obsessed with it. So I just went out and purchased another book by Maisie Eddings, and this happened to be the one that I picked up. Okay, so we're focusing on 2 main characters, Tilly and Oliver. Tilly is basically interning for her perfect older sister's startup company. She's not super thrilled by it, but it means that she does get to travel around Europe whilst she basically works out what she wants for her future. And then our other main character, Oliver, he knows exactly what he wants. He's also autistic, which has made forming relationships hard, but his love of color theory and design allow him to connect with the world. Plus, he secured the perfect internship. They're gonna have to spend time together, and they're complete opposites. So Oliver then finds himself forced to spend the summer with lively, exasperating Tilly, and they couldn't be more different. So they're very much on the ends of different personality spectrums. And when he starts to feel things for her he can't quite name, he wonders if maybe he doesn't have everything figured out at all. And as their connection starts to grow, they learn the best parts of life simply can't be planned. So I'm gonna be honest, this just sounds like a really sweet, cute rom-com, and low-key hoping we get some iconic European sites. Either way, it sounds cute. I'm interested. It's like 300-ish pages, so it's just gonna be a nice little palette cleanser in between the fantasy novels I've picked. And then book 4 is one I'm actually really, really excited about, and to be honest, probably the book I'm expecting to be my favorite read of the month of August, which is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. Now, this is the 4th and final book in the Rebel Blue Ranch novels. I'm gonna be honest, like, I absolutely love these. These are my favorite cowboy books that I've read. I actually much prefer them to the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. So in this book, we are focusing on Camille. So she is the mother of the eldest brother in the Rebel Blue Ranch family. I'm blanking on all their names, but that eldest brother, he basically had a one-night stand with Camille, and they have a daughter together, which the 3rd book focused on him and his nanny and falling in love with another character. So this one actually focuses on Camille and also Dusty, who has made some appearances just sort of sprinkled throughout the series. Camille and Dusty did date when they were in high school. Her family didn't think very kindly of him, so as such, they never kind of went anywhere. She actually ends up getting engaged to another man that her parents much prefer, and basically the morning of their wedding, he basically leaves her at the altar, writes her a letter about how he's leaving her. She's got to work out what to do with her life now, essentially. She's got nowhere to live, and then she discovers her dream house in her hometown is available, and just one problem is the neighbor. Let me guess, the neighbor is Dusty. Dusty has also spent his life running for his feelings for Cam. Oh, they call her Cam, not Cammy. That's my bad. And I guess she's gonna move in next door, and they're gonna have forced proximity, and they get together because they're kissing on the front of the cover. Either way, I'm just super excited to just read their story because they've been sprinkled throughout the first 3 books. So I'm just excited to see their little love story and just to have a beautiful conclusion to this series. I've put off reading it, but I feel like now's the perfect time to get it read. And then book number 5 is Caravel by Stephanie Garber. Yes, I have not read this book. This book has also been on my TBR for about a year and a half because my younger sister got this one for my birthday in 2024, and I haven't read it yet. I also see the sequels all the time, and I want to pick them up, but I'm not letting myself pick them up until I've read them. So will I be buying the sequels the second I'm 10 pages into this book? Probs. I just really want their spines to match my bookshelf, okay? Don't judge me. I actually don't know what this book is about, but it's been on my radar for years. I've just forgotten what it's about. Apologies, everyone probably knows what this book's about, and I'm just the only person in the world that doesn't. The blurb says that once a year, the infamous master legend hosts Caraval. Is it Caraval or Caraval? Someone in the comments, let me know. Open only to those who have been invited. This year, the week-long game is on Legends glittering Isla de los that was wrong. Where the winding streets are an elaborate snow-covered maze and people are never who they seem. At midnight on the first day, the show begins and the visitors become players. Each of them is vying for the coveted prize, a single wish. All they must do is unravel the mystery of Caraval, but in a game where danger hides behind every charming smile, winning isn't without loss, and their wish might be their last. It sounds fun, high stakes. It's 400-ish pages, so I'm excited to give it a read, see what it's about. I see the special editions like all the time and I want to buy them because they look stunning, but I haven't read it, so I can't justify it. I'm excited to give this a read and see what I think of it and whether we'll pick up any of the sequels, so keep you posted on that. And then book 6 is The Serpent's Shadow by Rick Riordan, which is the 3rd and final book in the Kane Chronicles trilogy. And also, once again, this book is on my 25 books I want to read in 2025 and also on the book series that I want to read in 2025. So it is a must that we get this book finished. I really, really enjoyed the first book. Yeah, but the second book just was a little repetitive for me and I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first one. It just kind of kept feeling like we're doing the same thing. What I like about these books is that it's narrated kind of verbally, and by that I mean that like Carter and Sadie are like talking on like a podcast before podcasts were a thing. They're recording themselves telling the story of the events to try and get other kids who have the blood of the pharaoh to come and help fight in this war that they're gonna have against Ra, and I can't remember the name of the evil snake, the serpent. It's probably here. Apophis. I said that wrong. So it's basically we've got a giant snake of chaos who swallowed the sun and it's not good, and now they basically have to help fight against the evil serpent with the rest of the Egyptian gods and the other blood of the pharaohs, and just I guess wind up this conclusion. I'm interested to see how it ends. Like obviously they're gonna win, but I'm interested to see how the rest of it plays out, because we've just gotten back the sun god Ra, who the other Egyptian gods had basically shafted and booted out so they could be in charge and in control, and Sadie and Carter have just gone like, no, we don't want you guys to be in charge. We're gonna get back Ra, and none of them are happy about that. So I'm interested to see how all of this plays out and what ends up happening. But that is The Serpent's Shadow. And then the seventh and final book that I have put on my TBR is, oh my God, look how stunning that is. Sorry, I get distracted by shining things. I'm like a magpie or something. Is Nightbirds by Kate J. Armstrong. But this book had a really interesting premise, and that's also part of the reason why I picked it up. It has to be continued. Oh my God, there is a sequel. This is now alarming. I thought it was a standalone. We have a very, very interesting premise on this book. I'm going to read it to you guys because I haven't really heard anyone talking about this book. In a world full of whispers and clandestine trades, the Nightbirds are Simta's best kept secret. Simta's like the city, the country, I don't know. These high society girls can gift their magic with a kiss. Something the church would have them killed for, but protected by the great houses, their identities safe behind masks, the Nightbirds are well-guarded treasures. So this is one of our Nightbirds. Mathilde, sure of her place in this glittering world, but not of her Nightbird sisters. Saya, from the wrong side of the canal with a score to settle, and Asa, afraid of everything and everyone, including herself. Soon the girls find themselves at the heart of a political scheme that shakes the world as they know it. When they discover their magic is far greater than they were taught, they see the Nightbird system for what it is, a gilded cage. They must make a choice to remain kept birds or take control, remaking the city that dared to clip their wings. So overall, it just sounds really cool and intriguing, and it's just been sitting on my TBR for a little bit too long, and I just need to get this book read. But I'm intrigued to see what I think of it and whether or not I'm going to decide to actually pick up the sequel and give that a read once I work out what the sequel is. Alrighty guys, so they are the 7 books that I have put on my TBR for the month of August. As always, there will also be another book put onto this TBR. It's going to be my book club read of the month for August. I just don't know what book it is because we haven't voted and picked it yet. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week for my July reading wrap up. Bye!